Hey y'all, welcome back to Great Reviews It All. I am going to be discussing the latest episode of BT Sistas. Um, so the episode, the season, it's getting there. You know, Tyler Perry, he's gonna feed you little bit by little bit. Um, I'm hanging in there. I'm kind of at a point where it's like, can we get to it? Because once again, I'm following the storylines, but you kind of have everything kind of, you have, it's a lot going on all at the same time, if that makes sense, if you get me. I will start with Danny. I'll start with Danny. So we know that Danny has been going to therapy, so that once you start that process, I've never been in therapy, but from my understanding, once you start that process of opening up the past and really diving in and really working through certain things that does, it becomes emotionally draining. It requires a lot out of you. And I think she's just at a point where she's going through the process. And I'm happy to see that she's acknowledging that. Um, if she need to have a little sip or two here and there, just to allow her to get through, go. I mean, long as she doesn't turn into an alcoholic, I don't see what's wrong with that. Um, I just hope that, and like I said, with this new guy, Tony, I think that's his name. It seems like he is really having a really good effect on her and a positive effect on her. And I just hope that she doesn't shut down throughout what the process of everything she's going through, and continues to work through her past issues and really give it a chance. She's gonna have to understand that if you decide to be with this man, you are going to be stepping into a role with a man who has children. If that is not the role that you want to partake in, like he told you before, we can go ahead and cut ties, boo, because that's what it is. I'm a package deal. Pretty much is what he was basically saying. Um, Going over to Sabrina, she has all this stuff going on with the work. That's still happening. We're going to see what develops with that. Um, with the guy that she's dating, new guy that she's dating, I don't remember their names just yet. Um, but again, hopefully she doesn't run, like, not, I don't want to say run him off, but I don't want her to shut down so early. Give it a chance. You're still new. Y'all are still new to each other. And you gotta let the process kind of, let it happen naturally. That's the best way I could say it. Let it happen naturally. You're trying to say, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this. I want to have kids, I want to do that. It's like, well, Sabrina, it's unfortunate that in this time frame of your life that opportunity hadn't presented itself to you just yet. And that it wasn't like a major thing that you were really pushing for at first. But now that you found this guy and you really, really like him, you just kind of have to allow things to happen naturally. Make sure that you're having the conversations that you need to have about what your expectations are for a long-term relationship. You know that you want to be married, you want to have you want children to be in the picture. So you just make sure that you're sharing this information and not just blurting it out when you've had deep thoughts after having a bunch of drinks. Okay, moving on. um so the whole thing with, and I'm just gonna give everybody's name: Hayden, um Fatima, Andy, Penelope, whatever Hayden's little, his wife's name is. I forgot her name already. Um, and even did I say Penelope, Gary, all of them. The whole thing that's going on with them is kind of like, okay, you throwing information out there, but let's actually go somewhere with it. You have the thing where she found a hole, where Penelope found a hole, and I hope that's her name, um, found a whole nother ID under a different name. Is Gary really his real name, or is this a whole nother person? He's got a lot of scamming type things going on. It's not the first time in this season that we've heard of anything going on with Gary's name and scamming together in the same sentence. Um, he still hasn't been arrested. However, the feds were coming to raid the office that Andy works in, and then they were also trying to make sure that they got rid of stuff in the office that he works in, and yet they haven't said anything to him yet. I find it very, very weird. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Let it go. We're just gonna let it go. I forgot to put my phone on mute or vibrate, and it is nowhere near me, and I am not gonna get up, and I am not gonna pause this video. It's not happening. I will get up and go check when I finish. So sorry about that. Now, yeah, he hasn't been pulled into for the FBI to interview him. However, the FBI was at Andy's place of business, interviewing everybody. I don't recall Andy actually getting interviewed. I just feel like, what's happening there? How did we lose that? Let me see. It's just a lot of things that's been happening when it comes to Gary and the whole thing with all of them, where something will happen and then it just goes away and we don't hear anything else about it on the next episode. We keep going on into something else. I think that's really weird. However, in this episode, Andy does receive information to prove that Jordan actually did not do what is being said in the news. It was fake. She found out that Gary was the one who, sorry y'all, found out that Gary was the one who actually was behind it. So that's one thing. She decides that she wants to confront him about everything, and Fatima's like, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna meet you, because, and I don't even understand why. Well, I kind of do and I don't. One, she may not have wanted to be seen out in public with another man discussing who knows what, and someone may overhear it, especially with her being linked to Jordan, so I can understand that. And then on the flip side, it kind of like, ugh, because you're having him to come to your home, and at this point, I really want her to move. I really don't even want him to know where she lives, because we're forgetting Gary has a crazy past, and we're seeing him do a lot of crazy things. We've seen where he has some kind of obsession with her. It's crazy. Like, I knew that he was crazy about her, but I didn't know it was to this extent. I mean, but I feel like she kind of takes it lightly, in my opinion, and I'm grateful that Fatima not only is just looking out for her boss, but she's looking at it as from a friend point of view, like, no girl, I'm coming, I'm gonna be there with you. So I appreciated that. And I felt like, okay, yeah, she got you, she has proof that you did it. Back off, Gary. Leave this girl alone. What do you want? Are you that angry with her because she's moving on from you finally? And and are you that obsessed with her about, it's more of like if I can't have you, I'm gonna ruin your life in every single way. I don't like the fact that he keeps throwing in her face that that's his place, because if you put it in her name, you pay for it, but you put it in her name. Another red flag. If I was Andy, I would get out of that place. Now she owns it according to paperwork. It's in her name, gifted to her, but I would get out of that place. I wouldn't want to have no ties. I wouldn't want that car. I wouldn't want that place. Nothing to deal with him. I would get rid of it or give it back. Um, Let me see. So again, we have to wait to see what's really going to happen with that. We know that he's trying to ruin Jordan. He's trying to make in cahoots with Hayden again to make sure that Hayden gets that position that they're both going out for. I forget. I think it's partner. Oh, something like that. But we're gonna have to see what happens with that. Now, moving on into Karen, Zach, Fatima, Pam, and this delivery guy. Once again, I feel like it's very cringy that this delivery guy is really, really trying to put it on to really kind of come on to Karen right now in this phase of her life. Sir, she's in the middle of opening a business, reopening a business, like basically starting over. So that's one thing. Two things, she is very much pregnant, so she has to figure out how that is going to go, linked in with having to work as well and have her own business. So you kind of trying to do whatever you're trying to do, it's very weird. And I kind of wish that they would stop putting this in our face. Who cares? I don't care to see that at all. Pam being Pam, she does what she does. She runs him off, talking crazy. Not in a negative way. I think Pam is pretty cool. Aaron, he comes back into the picture, which is going to lead into what I'm about to say, but he comes back. But he knows not to call Karen. He knows to call Pam, because Pam, if you just be, cool with her and y'all talk and get the chit chatting, he's going to find out everything that he needs to know about Karen. And he's just like, oh, I just want to check in on her. Yeah, you knew to call Pam to do that part. Now, moving on into Karen going to find out the paternity, do the DNA test. I thought that was really funny how Zach was being a big freaking baby about getting his blood drawn. That was hilarious. And then even with Karen, like the doctor told her, when she saw that needle, she said, you didn't look to see, what everything that was entailed with the procedure to see how big this needle is. And she was like, what am I doing? No, she was having second thoughts. And for me, honestly, that is what I would have done. I would have been like, yeah, no, we're not sticking a needle into anything to do anything about the paternity. We will wait until the child is born, and then we will go from there and get the DNA that way. That would have been my preference, but I think she was second guessing. So I didn't see that they actually actually proceeded to do the actual procedure, the DNA test, because when they looked on it, which was so freaking obvious, okay, when you went over her stomach, doctor, and you could see clear as day that was two babies. Karen is acting like, she's like, what? Like, what, doctor? You can see that on the monitor. Doc, before you turned the monitor, I know you saw that was two. For me, I was like, oh, and freaking G. And I was talking to my mom about this, and she said it. What if, because I saw the clip, and I'm like, man, that looked like two babies. What if those two babies, one belongs to Zach and one belongs to Aaron? Because it's crazy, but there's been other movies that I've seen that, that is what happened in a movie before. And I said, and what if, when she was earlier on in the pregnancy, they didn't catch it then because maybe the second one was hiding behind the first one. So they were only able to see that one. But now, oh baby, you're in full fledged, even though she has two the size of those babies, I would think she would be way bigger than that. But I'm just saying, we're going to roll with it. It's TV. Now, I had that thought in my mind. I'm not going to lie. I really did not want Zach to be the father of her child. I am being completely honest. I wanted Zach to have one less thing to take Fatima through. If that sounds right. I'm sorry. It's just like Fatima loves him. She's riding for him. They already have one. And then now you're going to have to deal with two baby mamas. And it ain't just no cool baby mamas. These are the ones that kind of give you a little extra. You know what I'm saying? But I think if Fatima and Karen, if they can let the BS go, they can work together, and it will be peace for the kids, people, for the kids. Okay, think about the children. But yes, that threw me off, and she was like, and the doctor was like, "Oh, congratulations!" And Karen, I thought, was about to faint on sitting in that chair. I thought she was just about to pass out. Me personally, I probably would have had a panic attack. But she said, "Oh, twins are a blessing, ma'am. All babies are a blessing. However, when you think about the financial part that comes into play, and what that means when it comes to parenting them, that you can't tell me that that's you having double the fun, right? But that's going to be so interesting. But I guarantee you that is what is going to happen. Zach is going to be the father of one. Aaron is going to be the father of the other because they're in two different sects. So, yeah. It also makes sense as to why Aaron was brought back into the picture on this episode. So, yeah, y'all. That's what we're getting with it. We're finally getting somewhere with Karen's story. It's taken a while to get there. Didn't have to take this long, but we're finally getting somewhere. With Gary and Andy and all of them, we're still out here. We out here. We don't know what's going on. Okay, but yeah. So that's that, y'all. That is my review so far. Let me know what you thought about what's going on right now with the season. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I will try my best to keep up with the videos. I'm going to say it and I'm going to say it again. I am a toddler mom, so I never know when I may not be able to get on and record. But I try to do the best I can to stick with it. But yeah, so bye, y'all, and have a beautiful, wonderful day.